doing a little late night drop in catch up. Yeah, just a little live stream at midnight. Why not? I've been very busy today. How are you all doing? Leave me a little comment so I know who's there. I had such an insanely busy day and I thought, oh my God, I told you guys I was going to be on here at 7 and I didn't make it, but I didn't want to be a no-show. I'm waiting to see who's there. Okay, wait. I'll start that again. Let me make a better appearance, okay? Hold on. Oh, they all left now. Okay, never mind. Okay, well, I'm just going to wait to... Oh, hi, you're back. Wait, let me redo my appearance. Hi, guys. So I just wanted to do a little catch up, even though I had a really crazy busy day. I hope you're all doing well. It's always a bit awkward, to be honest. It's always a bit awkward when I first come on here and there's no one. Oh, hi, love. Nice to see you. It's always a little awkward when I'm here and I'm like, hi, it's Sonia. I'm live. And how are you? I feel like I'm Mary Catherine Gallagher going live. Oh my God. It's so weird. But then once I see you, I'm like, hey guys. So I've got my soundboard with me today. I need to get a handle on how to use this thing. Wait, let me see. Well, at some point I will get a handle on it. I forget what these things are. Oh wait, no, I know what that is. Okay. Anyway, so I didn't come here only to play with the soundboard. Hi there, thinking out loud. I had an insanely busy day. Okay, like as if I'm not doing enough. Listen, this Poshmark thing, people talk about it like it's a side hustle. It's not. It's like a full-time job. I mean, it could be a side hustle if you take crappy pictures and just throw them up like I did in the summer. When I first got on there, I would just throw something in front of my cupboard, take a picture, throw it up with a horrible description, didn't take measurements or anything. And it took like no time at all. I didn't really share my listings, but I sold like a couple listings per month. There was one month where I sold one listing. I have been sort of studying this and I've like totally revamped the way I do things. Now I take really good pictures in good lighting. I use a background remover. I give really good descriptions, measurements, everything. I take pictures with measurements. And you know what? It takes a lot of time. And especially because in July I bought a ton of stuff because there was a special. I bought all the fall inventory. I mean, because I had only spring and summer. Hi, Jeff. So now I have to catalog all these clothes and it's really like so time consuming. I don't want to complain, but I'm just saying it could be a side hustle or it could be like super time consuming. And I didn't want it to be. I don't even have time for Marketplace anymore. I never do anything on there. I'm like a nobody now on Marketplace because I'm always on Poshmark. But it's been sort of paying off. I mean, I had sold a whole bunch of stuff. I took all that money and reinvested it. And then this month I sold even more than last month, even though the month is not over. So it's okay. Let's see what happens. But anyway, that's just like another thing to make me more busy. Today I took Aaron to a doctor's appointment and they put a camera up his nose. Actually, we recorded some footage. I wanted to like show you guys a little tour of the city and kind of take you with us. Like when he has these appointments, we kind of make it like a date. Do I list in batches? Every day I photograph about 5 items because that's about all the time I have for photographing. And then I will sort of like remove the background while I'm doing things. Like if I happen to be somewhere where I have to wait around a bit, and I'll list 5 items a day. But I'm trying to like relist old items too, so I don't have to have, I mean, realistically, okay, you see people that are listing 5 to 10 items a day. What do? Buy 10 new things every day? I mean, that's not possible. What do they have, a warehouse? I guess some of them do. But what they're actually doing is they're relisting old items. But the item, I discovered this today, has to be more than 60 days old. The listing has to be more than 60 days old or it will not go up into the new thing. Because today I had 5 listings and 2 of them were relistings, and they didn't go up in my feed, is like in my store. They stayed where they were. So I was like, well, why is that? I found out you have to give it 60 days or it won't work. But I figure if I get all this inventory listed, then over time I'll be able to just pick 5 things a day to delete and relist, and I will not have to photograph and make new listings all the time and shop all the time. I think the shopping is kind of over almost. But yeah, it's been super busy. So yeah, I went out with Aaron today. He had an appointment because he's had some horrible problems. Like, it's been so bad that honestly, sometimes I thought like he's really sick. Like, there's something really wrong with him. I hope it's not serious, because he's been sleeping like 12 hours a day. It's like every time I come down there, he's in bed, and it's like he can't even get up. And that's not normal for him. He was always pretty active and busy. Hi, Lynn. And hi, GTO. I forgot to say hi. So, well, we thought that it might have something to do with his sleep. I tried to get help, but we got like lost in the shuffle. Well, sleeping 12 hours a day, yeah, it's not normal. And I thought, okay, maybe it's like sleep apnea. Maybe you're tired because you're not sleeping well. And we got, you know, I took him to the clinic. They referred him. He got referred to pulmonology, but this was like 2 years ago. We got an appointment in January, and well, they called they called me a few months before. They said you have an appointment in January. I told them call my number, not his. They called his number. He didn't answer, so it was like he lost his appointment. They never called back to reschedule. It took me a while to figure out how to even get in touch with him. I didn't even know who it was. Then they said, okay, we're going to put you back on the list. But that was in February, and now it's August, almost September. We haven't heard. And then I was complaining to someone about this, and they're like, oh, there's this clinic called Dorma, which is like a private clinic, but they'll do your assessment on Medicare. And it's for like ENT. You don't even need a referral. So I was like, wow, that's great. Good news, because usually it's really hard to get referrals. So I made an appointment. They literally gave me an appointment for 5 days later, and I brought Aaron down there today, and they put the camera up his nose, which was kind of interesting. They discovered that he has chronic laryngitis. The doctor said it could be from voice abuse, because I guess he sings too much and he doesn't do it the right way. So there's something going on in there, maybe, that's making it hard for him to breathe. I don't know. We don't know what's wrong with him. But anyway, we had the appointment, and then we had kind of like a little date because we got to hang out a bit. And it was a beautiful day, and I did take some footage so I can show you a little bit. You know, like our city, it's really beautiful in the summer. Let me know what is on you guys' mind, eh? I guess a lot of you are thinking about what's going on in Hawaii. I guess you know what I think of that. I'm sure you can guess. Oh, you had the camera thing done? I had it done too once. It went fine for me. But Aaron's nose up here, it was so tight that he couldn't even like easily get the camera in. He had to freeze him, and it was really, really tight in there. I couldn't believe it. It was like going into a cave, you know, a hairy cave. And then we saw like the throat down here. It was kind of cool. We could see the vocal cords. And when he laughs, it's like a little munchkin in there that goes beep, 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 beep. Anyway, yeah, so I did that. Then I went up to Cover 2 because there's a lady who is trying to like de-hoard her house. And you know, I like to sort things. Singers can destroy their vocal cords. You know what? You're absolutely right. And I think that it's his poor technique, but I don't want to say that to him. Maybe if he watches this video, he'll find out what I think, but he probably won't watch it. But I think that Aaron never really learned proper vocal technique, and so he's kind of injuring, like inflaming his vocal cords all the time. So, yeah, you're trying to de-hoard too? Wait, let me see the chat on here. Actually, I have this tab open because I want to make sure I don't forget to talk about a certain thing. Yeah, you're trying to declutter. Me too. I'm trying to declutter. Like, I'm constantly giving stuff to charity and obviously selling things too. I can't believe that I've managed to find a place for all that stuff that I bought. But as I'm looking around, I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got stuff up there and up there. But I sold a lot of things. I sold over 60 items, most of them in the last 2 months or like the last 7 weeks. Oh, Leanne, hi. Oh my gosh, hi. I was just talking about your friend. Hey, it's nice to see you. Yeah, I was just saying about how your friend is trying to declutter or dehoard. So I went up there to meet with her and she gave me a bunch of things. I told her just throw it in a garbage bag. Like I like sorting. I am so crazy. I love to sort the stuff. I like to give it to the different charities and I like to restore things. Wait, let me get one thing, but I don't want to go on too much of a tangent. Because you guys remember I did this one video like way back when, before I started selling, like selling a lot, where I was showing you how I go around to the different charities and like how I said I don't like the consumer throwaway society culture. And I think it's crazy that we talk about helping the environment and yet we just like buy something, throw it out, you know? So I like to like participate in these sort of used clothing ecosystem, and I love to restore things. And my new thing is restoring shoes. And these ones, you wouldn't believe how destroyed they were. Look how beautiful they are now. I have all these great products that I can use. I think they can use a little more cleaning. It's not that bad, believe it or not. They kind of look a bit like that when they're new. They have these indentations. I'll clean them a little more, but look how nice. So I did these. And I'll have another pair. I'd love to show you their Cole Haan leather shoes. So look, they're all stuffed because the product that I have, I can clean the leather and then it'll sort of like make it so that after I can reshape it. Scrubbing bubbles? Oh my God, no, I'm using like special leather products. I don't want to ruin anything. These are Uggs. I'm not going to use the bathroom cleaner on them. But look how nice the lattice is now. It's like perfect. I have this other pair. I gotta show them to you. Sorry guys, I gotta take you off this thing. I'm gonna show you those shoes for a second. And I'll tell you, like, while I go get the shoes that, yeah, you guys know I like to restore things and like recycle. And I told her just throw it all in a bag. I'll sort it all out. But she had everything like nicely folded. Actually, you can kind of see. Wait, how do I turn this around? Like, here's some of the stuff that she gave me. And these shirts here, okay, I'm not going to give them to the charity where the CEOs make hundreds of thousands of dollars and pay their employees like minimum wage. I'm going to put this directly in the refugee claimant group. And this is going to go directly to people who need it for free. Okay. Uh-oh. What did I do with the shoes? That's so weird. I just... Uh-oh. Wait, what did I do with them? Oh, no, wait, they must be here. Hold on a second. I just had them. Oh, yeah, wait, hold on. I think they might be here. Oh, yes, they were here this whole time. I love restoring stuff. Well, you guys know I'm a bit of an artist, and I think that restoring clothes and shoes is kind of like my artistic side. Finding another way to express itself. Wait, what was that? Your Columbia sandals are returned to the original form with scrubbing bubbles. Listen, I don't doubt that it works, but I'd be scared to use it on this pair of leather Ugg sandals. Columbia sandals. Yeah, but that would be like vinyl. I think that would make sense. Hi, Susie. Yeah, look at this. These are Cole Haan Oxfords. You would not believe the shape they were in when I found them. First of all, like this had to be all re-glued. This leather looked like, it didn't even look black. It looked like a kind of teal color. Like it just, I don't know, like it didn't look the same, and they had lost their shape. They were all stretched out. Look how nice they are now. And they're all bright and colorful again. They're in pretty good shape. Pretty cool, huh? So yeah, that's my new sort of hobby. So there are a couple things. Yeah, it's lots of effort. I know, I'm crazy like that. Like I've always had hobbies that take up lots of time. What can I say? It makes me so happy though. I just can't stop. sometimes I say to myself, come on, Sonia, you're not really autistic. Look at you, you're so normal. But then I'm like, oh, I don't know. I spend all night, I'm in the kitchen, it's like 2 in the morning, I'm like, I should go to bed. Wait, no. Scrubbing the shoes with a toothbrush, but I get so much satisfaction out of it. I should be a professional shoe cleaner. Maybe I will be. Yeah, well, the helping people, it is rewarding to help people, but I think I just have more of a thing about I don't I don't like things getting thrown out. I just have an issue with like consumerism. That's the problem. I've always been this way. I don't like the way that we run things. It annoys me that they don't use materials that are properly reusable, like they don't use hemp, you know, they'll use nylon. They don't. No, obsessive compulsive. Actually, obsessive compulsive is a totally different thing. It is an obsessive thought followed by compulsion. Example, that you think that if you think, let's say you have a horrible thought that it's actually an intrusive thought, like, I wish my mother got cancer. And you're like, oh, how could I even think that? Okay, now I have to perform a ritual. Otherwise, by thinking that, I could give my mother cancer. So now I have to tap 5 times. That's obsessive compulsive. That's the obsession, and that's the compulsion, is to perform the ritual. It's a very particular thing. Being really, really like into cleaning. I mean, look, my house is a mess, so clearly I'm not like one of those like everything has to be clean kind of people. I think that what this is my artistic side. And you guys know I have painted, I've done a lot of things. I think that I'm just really enjoying the artistic aspect of restoring shoes. I don't know, what can I say? Maybe I'm losing my mind. That's the other possibility. But anyway, so yes, she gave me though also a vintage American Eagle Outfitter sweater, which I'm going to put in my store. And there was a couple of dress shirts, which, I mean, I don't know, I could put them up and we'll see what happens. If they don't, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to have too much. But the thing is, I found, well, I got these men's dress pants for, well, next to nothing, basically. Actually, nothing. It was my neighbor was throwing them out. So I have the dress pants, the wool dress pants. And so now actually I have shirts to go with it. So I'm going to put a little bit of men's stuff in my store because it's all like perfectly clean. They were straight from the dry cleaner, and the neighbor just like, they didn't fit anymore. So I was like, oh, can I have those? They're really good. They're all wool. Anyway, so maybe I'll do like a little men's department. Yes, I always did crafts. I did like all kinds of crafts, so maybe this is more productive. I just love to see things like be restored. It's so satisfying. Okay, so there was a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about. Wait, that's not it. Yeah, so Aaron's been having some issues. Also, I have to go check on him. Hi, Cheryl. How's it going? I have to go check on him because he had to get his cushion fixed, so he was sitting on one that was too flat, so he could get sores. So we have to be careful. I'm gonna go check in on him after this. And I got bad news that the exterminators are coming to do an inspection tomorrow. Wait. Damn it, that's the wrong button. Oh, so stupid. Which one is it? I don't know. The ENT said he has chronic laryngitis and very, very tight nasal passages. He's going to send him home with a monitor. Okay, let me try again. Hold on a second. Okay, I think I know which one it is. Let me try again. Okay. The exterminators are coming tomorrow. That's it. I got it. It's a learning curve. I'm kind of slow. Bear with me, you guys. Oh, thank you. Hi, Kokum. Yeah, the exterminators. Well, I don't have bugs. I am like, that's another thing I'm really good at besides fixing up old shoes. I'm really good at not having bugs because I know how to use the hydrated silica, and I am like a pro at that. You may remember like 10 years ago I had a bug problem, and I have mastered the art of keeping the bugs out of my house. Yes. I never have to have an exterminator. Thank you. I know. It's impressive, but you could do it too. I use hydrated silica and I spray that all over like the bed frames. And then I use the high quality diatomaceous earth, but you don't put it in like puddles and spots. You have to apply it like a really thin coating everywhere. And those bugs are going to die a million deaths. Hold on a second. When you live in an apartment, do they do the entire building? Well, they're inspecting. The former landlord was a cheapo and he wouldn't even inspect. Peppermint essential oil, let me tell you, the oils do not kill the bugs. They might send them somewhere else, but they will not get rid of them. Hydrated silica. Oh, I'd be more than happy to show you. Hold on a second. Wait, do I have a sound effect for that? Hold on a second. Hold on, I'll go get it because this is really valuable info, but let me not get off track. I have notes here. Oh yeah, I'm helping her dehoard. I'm giving a charity. I got a couple of things for my store out of it. I want to talk to you about this YouTuber though. He got really sick in Mexico and this is messed up. Don't let me forget. Okay, I'll go get this stuff just to show you because I really want you to know. My life used to be a nightmare because of the constant threat of bed bugs from living in this apartment building. And they make you suffer. Like when you get the bugs, they would make you take apart the whole bedroom and like even take the books off the shelves. I remember I had literally everything in my house on the balcony and this went on and on and on. Like we suffered. Actually, one of the exterminators told me, because Aaron got them at one point too, and like we just couldn't get rid of them because the landlord is supposed to do 2 treatments. Hold on. Oh, here it is. But he would only do 1 and he's supposed to do another one like I think like 3 weeks after the first one to kill whatever comes out of the eggs. Where's my soundboard? But he was cheap and he wouldn't do it. And so the things would just never, like it would never be solved. And the exterminator told me that there was a couple that got bed bugs and it drove them so crazy that, hold on, I put the camera down. Yeah, these people got bed bugs and it was so bad and it drove them so crazy that they ended up getting a divorce. They literally got a divorce because of the bed bugs. Okay, so here are the 2 things. This one, like you guys, I never get bugs. And if they do come in, if like we see a bite, I'm like, don't worry about it. They're going to die. I already know they're going to die. This is the thing. There's a little straw here in case you want a very thin stream. And it's, you know, it's a spray. But what this is, it's diatomaceous earth, but it's like hydrated in something. You know why I got this? Because I went my wits end and I discovered that in the US, they have this product and the exterminators will come into your house and they'll fog your house with this stuff. And it's called hydrated silica. And I wanted to know if it was possible to get that done here. And apparently not. It's like illegal. Or for some reason, the exterminators here don't use it. And I think this stuff like really, really does the trick. And there's no like toxic chemicals, right? Because with what the exterminators use, the bugs develop resistance or like a few survive and it kind of keeps them in business. It's a bit like the road work here where they never really do it 100%. So then there's always more work for them. Well, anyway, I was looking into this and I found out that you could not get this in Canada. And then I came across this because all the crap they have in the stores is garbage. It will not solve the problem. Wait, you sent to Poshmark and it said Ezra is trending? No, I'm not Ezra. I'm Elga. I don't think I'm trending. No, Ezra is probably a brand. But thanks for looking out for me. So, about the bed bugs, this stuff works. And because it's hydrated, you're not going to breathe it in. Because this is the other one that I use. But this is a powder. And it's good to put on the floor. And what I do is I just put a little track and then I push it with the broom. So you get this fine, fine, fine coating of dust. Problem with this is you don't want to breathe anything silica based. it can give you silicosis in your lungs. You don't want that. Google it and then avoid it, okay? So, this, yes, like if it's for the floor, you know, I'll wear a mask, I'll do the floor, I'll leave the room until the dust is settled. And it is helpful to have this around the bed, but you cannot really do the whole bed frame with this. You need this stuff. You spray it, it's clear when it goes on, then it turns white and it kills those bastards. So there. Now you're armed with the facts. I just dropped the truth bomb. Anyway, that's 5G kill bed bugs? Well, apparently not. Because we have 5G towers all around this neighborhood and we still have bed bugs. So, okay, so there was another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. I mean, by all means, bring some stuff up. You're welcome, Kukum. This is really good info. You will save money. I'm telling you, like, if you know how to DIY this, you will save money, or you will avoid the exterminator. They will not make you, like, take your whole house apart. What's this? Well, yeah, my landlord, yeah, well, I was trying to do it myself, but with this, and it was kind of like, it was helping, but I didn't like the idea of breathing in the dust, and it wasn't that great, but when I got that spray, man, that was it. It's called Bed Bug Be Gone Diatom. Okay, so there was another thing that I wanted to tell you about. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I'm so exhausted. I don't even know how I'm still sitting upright and talking. One of life's mysteries. And you're itchy now. That happens when people talk about bugs. Sorry, guys. Yeah, there's this guy. I wanted to show you about this, but I'm just trying to think if there was something else. Yeah, the YouTuber in Mexico. I've got the page open here. I'm going to show you. Just want to know if there was anything else on the... Oh, what did I just do? I just touched something. I'm vaping. Okay, look. Maybe there was something else. I don't know what it is. But anyway. Oh, yeah, I was telling you about Poshmark and how I've been busting my ass and how I'm thinking that once, like, I get it all up there, I can just, like, delete and renew my old listings and I can hire myself a virtual assistant. It's not worth it right now, I think, because I don't have enough listings up. I mean, I have like 400, but I think it'll be worth it when I get all the stuff listed. And then I'll have to get a virtual assistant or I'm going to lose my damn mind. So let me show you this in case you haven't seen his channel. Yeah, the guy in Mexico. Okay, so this is the guy. And his channel is William Todian. So that was his update, where I am and how I'm doing. This is one of those guys who was like, sorry, excuse me, guys. You know these YouTubers who, like, they do pool tricks and parkour and stuff? And they, like, amaze everyone? Well, this is what he was. And he said that he didn't want to work a regular job and he was bored being in one place. So he started traveling. And I guess, well, he became a travel vlogger on YouTube. And he would go to different places and do all his tricks and get subscribers and I guess make money. And he was able to, like, you know, continue this lifestyle for 14 years. I think he gets like sponsorships and brand deals and stuff like that because he doesn't even have 100,000 subscribers, but he must have been doing something, you know. So he went to Europe. Oh, you're at my Poshmark site? Okay, well, look, I'll give you the link too. He went all over Europe. He went to, wait, let me get you my thing, my closet. South Africa, South America, South Asia, Southeast Asia. He went to all these places. And then the last place he went to was Mexico. Hey, Hoochie. Hey, Matt the vegan. Are you still a vegan, by the way? I was just kind of wondering. Remember, like, vegan was a huge thing, like, what, 10 years ago. Oh my God, I've been on here for so long. It's ridiculous. So yeah, he went everywhere, and he went to Mexico, and he got so sick. It was like, I couldn't even believe. I don't know who is Sixto Rodriguez? I don't know who that is. I don't know. I don't know Sixto Rodriguez. He could be a rapper. I have no idea. You can tell me though. Anyway, rest in peace. I'm sorry to hear it. I don't know who. You can tell me who he was though. Okay, so William Todian, he he got really sick in Mexico, and it was very weird. And he was in the same place that I was in. That's why I started watching it. I was like, oh my God, he's in Playa del Carmen. And he went to the same, like, sort of hospital that I went to when I got vertigo, which is a very expensive tourist hospital. You do have to pay up front. They gouge you for everything. But your insurance will give you back the money. Well, he went there, and he was so sick, it was like sick where you think the person's gonna die. Like fevers, sweating, shaking, blurred vision, changes in consciousness. Like it was like he was like the most sick you can get, like kind of like it was looking like it was something like what's that thing, Legionnaire's disease, like something really horrible that you got from the air conditioning. And he was even thinking it was from the air conditioning. And I was watching this, and I was like, oh my God, like he better go get some help. This is really serious. No, it wasn't rabies. It wasn't rabies. That would have been even worse. But it was some kind of really bad infection. And yeah, I went there for dental work too. But he stayed. No, not insulin resistance. No. No, this was like a sickness. This was like an infection. He's a healthy young man, and all of a sudden, like you go check out the channel, you'll see the story. This is a healthy, athletic guy who does pool tricks, right? Travels the world. And all of a sudden, he is so sick. It was crazy. And he kept thinking, it's going to get better, it's going to get better. And it wasn't getting better. And he went to that Hospi10 clinic. They did a blood test. And he never got to the bottom of it because he didn't want to pay. And all they did was give him antibiotics. And they said he had high levels of chlorine in his blood. Yeah, GTO, that's true. But this is 2023. And that was like in 2021. So, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But this is much later, even, if it was because of that. Well, no, it wasn't sepsis. But it was something very serious, and it was, I think, affecting his lungs too. He went to that hospital, but he didn't want to pay. And I thought, that's too bad, because you should probably have some more tests done. And so having high chlorine in your blood, it's some kind of chemical imbalance, is very serious. And he thought it was from the pool. I don't know too much about it, but it's probably one of those things where your biochemistry can go off because of something that you've been exposed to. I don't know, some other kind of agent that could just throw your system off completely. But he was thinking maybe it was the pool, because he spent a lot of time in the pool. But then again, so did everyone else. He didn't go in the pool anymore. Then he was thinking it was something to do with the AC, because the air that was coming into his room, or from like a vent, he went down to see, where is this air coming from? And right below the vent was like a pool of standing water with all kinds of junk in it. Now, I think it had something to do with that. I don't think it was the pool. And he realized that whatever was in this horribly like fetid, infested, fungus-ridden water, that he's literally breathing like the vapors of it, as this is where like the air, like the fan is pulling in all this air. Yeah, like a kind of mold or something. Whatever it was is coming through the vent. And he was in this hotel room breathing this air, windows closed, So he decided to leave. He went to another hotel and he thought it would fix the problem, but it didn't. And the weird thing was the sickness kept coming and going. So he would have a day or two where he was a little better. And he said, as soon as he started feeling better, he was like, that's it, I'm over it. He goes out in public and all of a sudden he's super tired. He has to go all the way home and he's like shaking and he's hallucinating. And it was scary to see because he would film himself. And he's like, I don't understand. I was feeling so good and I went in public and I was so tired, you know, because he's Swedish, right? And so then he switches hotels again. And I'm like, my God, just go to the hospital. And I don't know if he understands that you can go to a public hospital in Mexico. People who are tourists seem to think that if you get sick in Playa del Carmen, the only place you can go as a tourist is Hospitan, and it's not true. Because my friend Karen was down in Mexico, either working or on a different kind of visa or whatever, but you can go to a Mexican hospital. And yeah, maybe you're going to have to pay, but you're going to pay less than in the tourist hospital. And that hospital has some bad reputation, actually. I could tell you some stories. Well, it's not them exactly, like, not anything they did there. But the thing is, that hospital, hey, Justin, hey, happy belated birthday, by the way. That hospital has a contract with the resorts. And it's so extreme that no one is allowed to touch a person until they get there. So there have been cases where somebody was drowning in the pool and the hotel staff is telling everyone, stand back, don't touch them. Only the people from this hospital are allowed to come. That's because they have a contract. So the hotel is not allowed to let anyone else come in and help because of this written financial contract with that hospital. But that doesn't mean that you have to listen to them. If, let's say, there were some paramedics once from Australia who were on vacation, and a girl started to drown in the pool, and the hotel people are like, no, don't touch her. We're called the Hospitan ambulance. They're gonna come, and they're gonna take care of it. And these people are like, get out of the way, mate! And they just like push them out of the way, and they save the girl's life. And the hotel wasn't going to do anything, but it's like they have to say that. And unfortunately, a lot of people will be like, oh, okay. And there have been people that like drowned in the pool and like everyone stood around like, oh, well, you got to wait for them to get here. Can't do CPR because the hotel people said not to. And it's just horrible. Like if knowing that, if ever I saw anybody choking in Mexico, and I would, first of all, I would never stay in those resorts because you would not believe the stories, and they all happen in those resorts because those resorts are all cartel owned. Like, I mean, look, there might be some that aren't. I'm not naming names, but there are like huge like threads and boards of people who've had experiences in those resorts, you know, and it's all cartel run. So all this stuff happens in there, like the spiked drinks, the stuff that goes on in the rooms after the spiked drinks. Like there's horror stories that were in the papers that are so horrible that I won't even repeat them because I'm live on YouTube, but they were really, really bad. Plus, if you get injured, they're going to make everybody wait and make that ambulance come. But the fact is that if you do get sick in Mexico, you can go to the hospital, from what I understand. And thanks, love. Well, he didn't go. So I figured, well, he must be alive because he's still making videos and there is old footage. He went to a different place, met up with this lovely girl that he likes, and they were staying in this penthouse. And he was trying to present like, I'm feeling better and I'm with whatever her name is now and we're in this beautiful place. But he wasn't better. He was still like every few days, like it would just keep coming back and coming back. He finally went to Sweden. Everyone was like, William, get out of Mexico. You're sick. Go back to Sweden. He went to Sweden. They gave him a blood test and were like, oh, well, they did nothing. And he says that's because it's the socialized healthcare, which I understand. He would have probably gotten better care in Mexico if he'd gone to a public hospital. They would have probably been more thorough, you know. So this video that I was showing you where I am and how I'm doing, in case you didn't see the guy. Sorry about the noise. This is the guy that I'm talking about. This is the guy, the, what do you call it, like parkour tricks guy who went to Mexico and got sick, probably from some horrible infection that came up through the ventilation. Didn't go to the hospital. Went to the tourist hospital. Didn't want to pay what they were charging. Thought he would get better. Finally went to Sweden. Still hasn't gotten any help really in Sweden. He's not doing well. And the reason that, sorry about all this noise of me like moving my camera around, okay? The reason that this kind of like really hit me hard was because he was a very young, healthy man. Now he has encountered something that has severely undermined his health, and he might never get it back again. And I don't think he has really fully understood what has happened to him. I don't think he has fully like come to terms with it. He is no longer a healthy person. And you know who goes through this? Everyone who has a weird, unexplainable illness. I went through this kind of crap for years when I had the breast implant illness, trying to get help. And it's not easy to get help. It was the same with my son when he had PANS, which maybe he still has. The same with, people trying to get help for their autistic children. Once you have a chronic condition, no, it's not more gallons. Once you have a chronic condition, it's hard. It's really hard to get help. And you go into this sort of limbo area where you're not well, but you don't look that sick. Like, you're not like, you don't have cancer. You're not dying in a hospital bed. You're the walking wounded. You're walking around the shell of yourself. You're trying to keep up the life you had. You're trying to get help and you can't get it. This is this limbo that you end up in with any kind of chronic condition, autoimmune, weird infection, rejection of implants, like in my case. I lived like that for years. And I thought, oh, well, now you've entered this realm and you're going to have a road ahead of you and you're going to have to learn to push. Once you're in that situation, you get into this situation where like you realize I need help so badly and I have to push so hard to get it. Nobody seems to want to give it to me. And at the same time, you're so sick that you don't even have the energy after a while to do it. Like when I had this breast implant illness and people would say, do this or do that, but there was a point where I honestly felt like I wasn't going to be around much longer. And I thought, okay, now I understand why people who are really sick don't do all those things. It's because you don't have the energy for it. Did you guys know that? When you're really sick, when you're really unwell, you don't have the wherewithal. I mean, I've seen some people who do, supposedly, or maybe they have support from other people, but that whole like researching all the stuff and juicing and all the supplements and running around to all these specialists, first of all, it costs a lot of money. When you're that unwell and you're not working very much, make liposomal vitamin C. See, there you go. Exactly. I have the jewelry cleaner. I have tried to make it. It didn't turn out. So there's that. But that's an example. I mean, everyone's going to tell you, do this, do that. When you're really not well, you know the spoons thing? Like you have a certain amount of spoons. It's going to take all your spoons just to take a shower and make something to eat and go to the one appointment or the thing you have to do or go to work. Like I lived this way for so long, Intravenous vitamin C. Yeah, well, different things might help with different problems, but not everything works with every problem. So it becomes like a lot of trial and error. I tried a lot of things. And in the end, what I had to do was take out the stupid toxic implants. Can you believe it? And all those years, I never really realized. I'm so grateful that my problem was solved like that. Do you guys remember I used to make these videos? I have a mystery illness and, that's what it was. It was a breast implant illness. And now that I'm not sick anymore, it's like I'm like unstoppable. I'm like busy from the minute I get up till at night. I still like I'm still kind of old, you know, like I get pain in my spine because of my injury, and I get a bit tired, but it's nothing like before. It's crazy, man. Like I feel like I came back from the dead. I have a new lease on life. Wait, what were you saying? Have I heard the new song from Oliver Anthony? I don't even know who he is. I'm 52. I don't know who these people are. You know, I saw Trisha Paytas the other day doing an interview, and they were talking to her about some celebrities, and she's like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, yeah, old. That's why you're getting old. You don't know what Doja Cat's music sounds like. You're old, girl. Welcome to the club. Yeah, chronic fatigue. Yeah, wait, hold on a second. Oh, don't argue in the comments. Well, no, I still don't know who Oliver Anthony is. Yeah, look, you know what? Like when you're that sick and you can barely get up, like you don't know how many days it took everything, all my willpower just to get myself upright. I felt like I was dying, you guys. I can't even believe I kept making videos and I was like, I don't know how I'm doing this. It was so horrible. I mean, what was I going to do? Come on here and be like, well, I think I'm dying, guys. So, like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to go lie down. But, yeah, that's partly probably why, yeah, I made a lot less. Every year I was doing less and less and less. Now I'm doing a lot more, but it's not so much on YouTube. But, yeah, when you're like that, when you're, like, so unwell that you can barely get up and you can't do anything, like, I don't know about you, okay? I don't know how you are when you have a chronic illness, but for me, I was not able to get up and do all those things and make this potion and make that potion and get myself into like an infrared sauna and go in the floating egg tank. And you know, how was I going to do that? I could barely get up, right? Yeah, Lynn, you know how it is. Um, no, I didn't have the resources, and I understood, and I was like, oh, now I know why. Like people when they get cancer, they're just like, yeah, give me the surgery and like just do the chemo because you're so done. Like I mean, just as an example, I have a very serious illness, but people when they're healthy, they're like, oh, if I got that sickness, I would do vitamin C and I would chelate and I would do the infrared sauna and whatever. I would go on a yoga retreat in Portugal and I would eat only kale, organic, and drink only goat's milk or whatever, you know. And then you actually get sick and you're like, I have no energy, I have nothing left, like just whatever, right? You don't have the resources. It's healthy people who say, do this, do that, do that other thing. And there's some people that like they think they had a problem, but it wasn't really like they just had some like minor issue. I can't remember. Somebody told me something the other day. She thought that she dodged a stroke, and it was never like the symptoms she had were never stroke symptoms. Like I don't know how she didn't know the difference. And I was like, no, that wasn't a stroke, you know. But she's like, and I dodged the stroke because I drank prune juice at the last minute or something like ridiculous, you know. But yeah, like when it comes down to it. Oh, hi, Rabbit. Hi, Jana. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Um, yeah, when I was young and healthy, like before I got breast implant illness, I was here telling you what to do. I used to do all this juicing and I would do all this hoop dance exercise. But looking back, I realized that I was able to do all that because I was young and healthy. Because once I started getting sick, I didn't have the wherewithal. So that's the thing. Once you're sick, you don't really have the wherewithal. And it would be good if you had people around you who could do it, who could help you and take care of you. Once you're sick, like you can't. I don't know. I'll speak for myself, but I couldn't. And anyway, there was nothing I could have done. I was being poisoned every day. Or yeah, I don't know if I was being poisoned or I was just like rejecting it, but I was experiencing some kind of rejection syndrome. Cheerleader, yeah. Well, not only a cheerleader, but like when Aaron got sick, Oh, wait, I want to talk about this guy, though. What people are saying, I don't agree. When Aaron got COVID, actually, he was very, very weak for like 10 days. He was like, he couldn't even get into the shower. He couldn't even transfer in the car. He did get really sick. But I was there to help him. I was there to take care of him and like give him all the supplements and give him the good chicken soup and, you know, but he really did need that. Like I didn't at all. I was totally fine and so was Gunnar. But Aaron, he's 63 and like yeah, he got pretty sick. And like what if he had been alone? I don't know. It would have been a lot harder. So wait, what did you say? Oh yeah, so this guy, William, that I was telling you about. Yeah, that's when I said COVID, I was like, oh yeah, everyone's like, maybe it's COVID. Because it's weird these days, like whatever people have, whatever symptoms they have, people go, maybe it's COVID. Maybe it's something really toxic that was in that air vent, you know? But I feel bad for him because the last video that he made, it seemed like he was really grasping at straws. Like he was still trying to entertain his audience because he's always been an entertainer. And he was still trying and it was like, oh, I feel bad for you. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. Are you gotta go? Okay. Well, thank you. And I thought I could see that he was trying to hold on to what he had. And I remember when this happened to me where I couldn't do it anymore and I was trying to hold on and I was trying to like keep faking it and it just got impossible. And I felt like when I came on here and I was trying to like fake it, it was just like a bad energy. I had to finally accept I can't do this anymore. Like I'm too sick. And yeah, he's really like rethinking his life and what he should be doing. And he kept saying, I want to get back to my old self. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. Because, you know, you might never be your old self. Like once you get sick, like look at Aaron. Aaron's in a wheelchair. He's been in a chair for what, 40 years. He's never going to be his old self. Once you get like that, you kind of have to be your new self, you know. You might never be the person that you were, but it's okay. You have to find a new groove, you know. What's this? You had great health till almost 70, then you got diagnosed with throat cancer. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Put me on a rough road, though I left 3 weeks after surgery to be home. 10 days at daughter's after that home taking care of yourself. What, you're recovering now? Okay, well, I hope that you're going to have a good recovery. And we'll keep you in your prayers. In our prayers, sorry. Yeah, I hope that goes well for you. I hope everything goes okay, you know. Have I been tanning? No. Yeah, I got as soon as I got those things out, look, I don't have any makeup on. I got color back in my lips. I got color back in my cheeks. But like as soon as I go out in the sun a little bit, I get tanned very quickly because of my dad. Hi, Bella. Oh, you were going to say the same thing? Well, it's summer, you know, but I've been in the house most of the time, but I tan really fast. I turn like beige. You guys remember when I went to Cuba? I came back, I was really tanned. So yeah, I mean, I feel bad for this guy and I really think he should try to pursue getting some help, but I've had viewers who've had problems where they were exposed to mold or they were exposed to something and they never really regained their health completely, you know. It's kind of weird, eh? Like when you watch people on YouTube and you watch them for many, many years and then you see like when things go badly, like it's just wow, you know. But that's life, eh? You're not your old self. Your new me is still kicking life. Well, that's it. You know, we're not going to be our old selves. I'm not going to be my old self either. If I look at myself 15 years ago, I'm never going to be that person again. I think menopause like ate like a quarter of my brain. Do the HRT, don't do what I did. When you say the new me, wait, the new me is still kicking life. Garden, that is dirt therapy, still caring for self, no healthcare agency needed. Good days and bad days. Yeah. I should watch Oliver Anthony's song Richmond, North of Richmond. Song of the century? Really? The battle cry of the working classes? I had no idea. Patrick, are you talking about William? He was. Oh, yeah, maybe he was. Yeah, I know, but we can't blame everything on that either. That was like a year and a half ago. Oh, you had a bad COVID too, Lynn. I hope you recovered. I do have one friend who got a real bad case of long COVID. She's like a chronic fatigue sufferer, but really bad, really bad. And there's no easy cure for her. It's not like you just take her implants out. And I bounced right back, thank God. But yeah, imagine staying like that for the rest of your life. Because like all the stuff I had, it was like people with long COVID, shortness of breath, dizziness. I used to faint. Pain all over my body, fatigue. Thank God it was just the implants. I'm so happy. What song? No, I didn't know. Hi, Gypsy. Hi, love you too. Wait, all right, okay, you guys want to talk about the fall? So yeah, there's like some people are kind of rumoring that they're going to try to shut things down again. I think it'll be a very, very hard sell. And my opinion, my personal opinion, based on their MO, I don't think they're going to do it. Because their MO tends to be, they go for a very hard push, but then like, right now people are not in a state of mind where they're going to want to listen to them. The government is like, kind of like in the doghouse right now, at least in Quebec. It would be a very hard sell. And I don't think they're going to do it. I'm absolutely not worried. I'm happily running around the thrift stores and enjoying my life. Because we just went through like something horrible. So why am I going to keep stressing myself out now? These could be like the next couple of years could be like the best years that you could have in a while. Yes, I'm enjoying it. In 2 weeks, what? Yeah. If you guys look at the MO, how often do these big things happen where society changes, like everybody, like the whole world changes? 2001, 2009, 2020. Look at the time intervals. So 2023. I don't know, man. I looked at those UN documents. I read that stuff, and I remember them saying we have but 10 short years to achieve our goals, and that was 2030. And I would be keeping my eyes on the end of the decade. And what's up with all these fires? I know. No, they're not going to lock us down. Listen to the witch. I'm going to make a prediction here. They're not going to lock us down. Not for any kind of virus. There's no way. They are so screwed right now. The U.S. has been having all kinds of Senate hearings, grilling everyone from, well, all those companies. What was there? Pfizer. What was the other one? Moderna. The guy from Moderna. He was drawn and quartered in like public hearings. What's her name? Rochelle Walensky was also grilled in a public hearing. All these inconsistencies exposed. Things that they said, and then they said the opposite, and then one branch says this, the other branch says something else. Right now they're all being like drawn and quartered. So it would be very hard for them to all of a sudden like rally the entire country to go for another round. No way. And the last time, like the reason they could do it was because it was a new thing and people were scared shitless, and when people are afraid, they're maybe more likely to follow orders. I was scared too at the beginning, but then after a while I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I mean, and I always knew that there was a risk. It was a new virus. I still, okay, I think we can say now, I'm not sure about the guidelines, but I think that because it's kind of common knowledge now that most likely it came from a lab, so it was engineered. I always thought that it was a BW, just not the kind that would have effect very quickly, but like something that like undermines like in the long term, that has all kinds of sneaky effects, and I still believe that. Oh, I think it was real. They know now that it was already in Italy in 2019 in July. this is the thing. People are they're going off like both ends of the theory of the conspiracy theories. Like on the one hand, they think that it's not real and it doesn't exist, and on the other hand, they say, but hey, Peter Daszak said that they were manufacturing these viruses in the lab, which he did say in a magazine interview, in order to make vaccines. So which is it? So they're admitting that they're making these sort of chimeric viruses in order to study how to make vaccines in case, right? And then on the other hand, even though you've had that information, somehow you want to think that nothing exists. I don't subscribe to that at all. And I think that people were prepared for that, like, but with these, nothing ever happened. It was all fake, these sort of theories that were going around about, maybe it was about 10 years ago, it got very popular, like nobody died and nothing happened. This was like a kind of popular conspiracy theory that went around that I never subscribed to, because I knew the guy who had started it, and I knew that he was also in jail for using meth, and he was completely delusional. And I think that sort of prepped the mindset that some people just don't know anymore what's real and what's not real. But that's convenient if somebody was to make something in a lab and then it accidentally gets out or is released, and then they've got all the conspiracy theorists convinced that it doesn't exist. Well, that's convenient. So maybe we're not on the same page. Well, anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Oh, but about the fires, yeah, it is weird. We had a lot of fires in Quebec. Yeah, so RB, hi, RB. A piss poor one. I think it was a stealth weapon, personally. That's right. The immediate IFR was not very high. But I think that there was some things that down the road, not maybe the later versions, but there was some stuff going on with the original one, or it was intended that way. That's just what I'm thinking. That if it was a BW, that it was meant to be sort of latent, causing different things. Well, now it's just become another winter virus. I heard them talking about it on the radio, and they were like, there's a new variant, and no one is in the ICU because of it, and it causes cold symptoms. And I was like, oh my God, why are we still talking about this? I just heard that on the radio the other day. Yeah, you guys remember the wildfires in California a few years ago? And there was some like weird footage and stuff. And there, you know what? Apparently, there's a list of like 10 really weird things about what happened in Hawaii. I don't know it like off the top of my head right now, but I remember seeing that, hearing about these 10 different things or so, and I was like, oh my God, are you serious? That is so weird. And the government just being like, that's misinformation. And it's like, where have we heard that before? Yeah, I'm not on TikTok. That's where I draw the line, because it's totally spyware and it's a keylogger too. So no thanks. So that's it for me. I'm like in the dinosaur age when it comes to technology. The whole thing with Hawaii is so weird. I'm sure they'll rebuild and build back better. Maybe even have a smart city, since the old one isn't there anymore. Who knows? We'll see soon what happens. Keylogger. Keylogger is a thing, like the contract for TikTok literally tells you that they can record your typing. So that would mean including like when you put passwords and stuff. I don't feel comfortable with that at all. Apparently that's like literally in the contract. Oh, they don't call it that anymore, GTO. They call it the Great Reset. I think they're going to have to come up with a better name for it, because everybody's like, we're so over it. Actually, I think that like they really, Klaus Schwab and all them like really tried their best, but I don't think they got what they wanted. I mean, maybe they made some progress, but I don't know. I think that it also created a lot of pushback. You know, my dad knew, like, he was kind of hip to all these things, like, way back in the 70s. And he told me, like, don't worry about it, just live your life. I think it's true to some extent, but also, like, it is kind of good to know so that you don't get snowed. I don't know what's going to happen with Klaus Schwab now. And, like, this whole thing about switching to, like, green energy and all electric vehicles, that's going to be a hard sell, too, because we don't have the infrastructure and they keep blowing up. So I think we're in a really nice lull right now. They're going to back off for a while. And we should all have a good time. That's what I think. Oh yeah, it's horrible what happened in Hawaii. And I didn't really like look into it too much. But I mean, you can't avoid, coming across it to some extent. It's kind of everywhere. I'm not sure why well, I thought it was weird, like some of the fires, it was like, how did the fire even get there? The fire was just like in an area where it didn't really make sense. Like, how did it get from one place to the other? And I think they're trying to say that it was like a hurricane or something. But isn't a hurricane made of water? I mean, excuse me, I'm not a scientist. But how does the hurricane bring the fire from one place to the other if a hurricane is water? Like, we've had hurricanes here and it's pouring rain. So I don't understand how the hurricane brought the fire. I don't get it. Maybe you can enlighten me. Maybe I'm missing something. I wouldn't know. What do I know? I'm just a shoe cleaner. I don't know anything about that stuff. But I saw like footage and it was like, it was really weird that it was right next to where the water was. And then there'd be these like empty areas where there was no burning. And then it's like, well, how did it get there? Anyway, like, I don't want to get into it too much. Oh, Russia. Oh yeah, they have their own digital currency. Yeah, Patrick. Oh yeah, the grid cannot support the electric vehicles. And the most ridiculous thing is I saw this interview once and they were like talking about how this car, yes, it like runs on, it's electricity, so it's green energy. And they're like, well, where do you get the power from for the electricity? And she was like, most of it's from coal. Hi. Wait, that was. Hi, Cajun. Oh, yeah. Oh, you were there during a storm and the wind gusts were so bad it crushed two houses. That's crazy. I can only imagine. Biden tweeted laser focused. He said that. That's almost like trolling. It's really weird coming from Biden too, because I think this man has to have everything literally scripted for him. He wouldn't have come up with that on his own. So like somebody told him to say that. Hey, tell them it was laser focused. Oh my God. Yeah, it's like you never know like where it's going to hit you next. But then again, I remember in 2009 when they did NLEO 9 and people were like, that's it. They're going to, it's going to be martial law. And then there was like some kind of thing in 2011. It was very similar. I mean, this stuff just keeps coming. So you have to somehow keep living your life. Don't be miserable. You're supposed to have abundant life, remember? Not abundant doom and gloom. The largest solar power plant. Well, that's interesting. Well, what happens when it's overcast? Oh yeah, have you guys seen the videos where like you see like it's almost like he's wearing a mask and it's like creasing in the back? There's some videos where like Biden looks like he's wearing like a latex mask. Hi, Joey. But why not? Saddam Hussein had like a dozen doubles, so why wouldn't Joe Biden have a bunch of latex mask people walking around? It's very weird. Yeah, what happens when it's overcast? Yeah, all your solar power doesn't work. You're screwed. Or what if there was like a volcano and it was covered with ash like in the 80s? Different years. Yeah, there's something definitely weird with Biden. But it was kind of like that with Bush too. Like he was a lot different when he was governor, and then when he was president, he became really stupid and said a lot of dumb things all the time. But he wasn't like that before. I saw footage of Bush and he was like really sharp. The only one who didn't get stupid when he became president was Obama. And I guess Trump was Trump. He was the same as he always was. But all the people in between, like, they become president, they do stupid things. Oh, you think he did, Cajun? Hmm. If you want to have fun during hard times, become creative, do what you love. Exactly. That's what I'm doing. It's like I don't care anymore. Seriously, I just want to enjoy my life. Like we only get one life. I was tired of being miserable and I'd been sick for so long. So once I realized that I was better and I wasn't going to die, I have like a new lease on life. So now I'm doing things that make me feel alive. I think that happens to people when they get sick. They're like, wait a minute. And they kind of have a wake up call and they say to themselves, like, I'm going to live my life like the way I really want to. I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing because it's making me miserable. And that's kind of what I did, you know? And I'm really enjoying doing Poshmark. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's not a side hustle. Yeah, thank you, Gypsy. Well, I hope you do the same. I mean, it's weird too because I used to really care a lot about the news. Like when I started doing YouTube, I was talking about news all the time. Like I was talking to everybody about it outside, off YouTube also. But now I just feel like everybody who's gonna know already knows. So I'm not gonna just keep preaching to the choir, number one. And B, we get the general idea. We kind of understand how this works. I think our confidence in the system is like completely at an all-time low. And yet we still have to live, you know? And what happens to people when they're very old at the end? If they ever have regrets, it's like I wish I spent more quality time with the people I love. It's not like I wish I spent more time figuring out how the Illuminati works and I wish I'd spent more time on the internet. Yeah, you're here to enjoy life and be a good human and serve God. That's like number one, you know? And that's been really great. I've been having some really great opportunities to serve the Lord, and that's been awesome. This is the most important thing, you know? Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna, yeah, worry about living in the twilight zone. I trust God, and He's been giving me some really good things to do that have been really panning out. So I just feel like that's the most important thing. And my life is just for God, even though I did buy the witchcraft wallets and I did sell them. I am a Christian, and like my whole purpose is to serve God. Even though I vape and all that, that's got nothing to do with it. So that's what matters, you know. I'm just really grateful. Like I've had some really awesome opportunities to like help people connect with God. So that's what matters, you know. I feel like that's my purpose. Vaping for Christ. Well, kind of, because at least I don't smoke anymore. I think he understands. Um, yeah, just try to be a good human, you know. Any vacations planned? I wish. I spent so much money last year, but I'm glad I did it. You know why I did it? I thought like I'm not gonna live much longer. I was sure. I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. I better go do all my retirement travel now. I'm not gonna wait because whatever it is not getting better. I did all my travel and then I found out it was my boob implants. But it's fine. I'm glad I did it. But no, like no funds now. What does serve God mean? Well, the thing is, I don't want to get into the details of what I've been doing, but if you want to know how to serve God, ask God what He wants you to do. Tell Him, Lord, I want to serve you. Please give me opportunities, and He will give them to you. And you'll know. You'll know when you're serving God. Serving through serving other people. Everybody has their own different kind of ministry. Some people, your ministry is literally to your family. Some people, it's to other people, you know. Some people serve by being behind the scenes and like helping with different kind of things, you know. Everyone's different. There's many, many ways to serve. Like, yeah, be of service to others. But it's not of service to others like in a way like I'll do whatever anybody asks me to do anytime. Like I have some pretty solid boundaries, you know. Like if somebody asks me to borrow money, I'll say no. That's not serving God. That's people pleasing or whatever. Or no, that's not it. I have very specific things to do for God, and I'm doing them. went to a resort and rented a cabin. Yeah, we went to Maricourt like a couple of years ago with Aaron, and we went camping there in a cabin. But this year we haven't been anywhere, and Gunner's passport ran out. I'm working on getting it renewed. I mean, I'm concerned with saving souls. Let's just put it that way, you know. But you do you, boo. I want to help bring people to God. Like that's number one. I that's what God wants me to do. So, to help people find God. Um, Passport renewal sucks. Yeah, and so I asked God to put people on my path, and then when He does, it's really good. And I have a lot of energy for them, and I'm very motivated. And I just, like sometimes they might find their path, and sometimes not. But that's in God's hands, Your favorite thing to do is to isolate. Yeah, you want to be a good example. Well, that's too. I mean, you want to be a good person, generally. I try to spread more love than drama. And also I'm just having fun. Like I'm not worried so much anymore. I mean, like our lives are kind of short. I'm already 52. So maybe because I think, well, maybe I'll only be here for another 20 years. So let's make the most of it. Let's like do all the fun things that we really, really like to do. Like fix shoes, whatever it is that you like to do. But yeah, this YouTuber here that I told you about, William Todian, please keep him in your prayers. I really hope that he's going to be okay and that he's going to get some help and that he's going to be okay, like spiritually, because right now it really doesn't look good. Like I can see through him trying to like keep up a brave front. I know that he's having a very hard time. So I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, Jesus, exactly. Yeah, he didn't take crap from people either. That's true. I mean, he was nice about it, but he had good boundaries. Having boundaries and not being a doormat doesn't mean, you're not a good Christian. It's not. You can totally have good boundaries. Actually, I think it's very important because when you have bad ones, it's like you're not helping. How's Gunner's schooling going? He didn't want to go to school anymore. And the school is starting soon and he's not going back. And so far he has not been doing any kind of academics with me, but he wants to get his stuff done, when he's up to it. He's been going through a really hard time. Actually, we even kind of wondered whether he was having like a PANS flare because it started when he got that sinus infection. And we're hoping that it's nothing serious because he's been really in a very weird state of mind. It's like he hasn't been himself, since he got sick. That was like, what, last October or November? I mean, he was on the honor roll in the first session, and then he got sick, and it's like, I don't know if it's because he just fell behind in school, and he couldn't get back on track, but he had a lot of very bizarre behavior after that. Yeah, he could be a musician. I mean, right now, like, he's having trouble, like, just going through the door. Like, he won't leave the house. Still, it's been 2 months he's been inside. It's very hard to get him to go through the door. I think that's totally not normal. It's very concerning. I'm trying to be patient with him. But he has like incredible like anxiety just going through the door. So when people talk about get him in an apprenticeship or send him to this or that, it's like, no, you don't understand. Like I cannot get him to like put his clothes on and go through the door. Like we're back to the basics, He's not coping. But I mean, hopefully it's gonna get better. Yeah, shut off the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I guess, but it goes a little further than that. I don't know what happened to him. I think I've told him like it is important that you get out of the house. Well, listen, the Wi-Fi, you know what? It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. I mean, yes, maybe it helps if you don't have a modem in your bedroom, but he was doing very well before and he was in the exact same environment. Same modem, same everything, But I told him, like, I know you're kind of like in your head right now and you're sort of staying in the house all the time. And I go out every day and I would like him to come with me. Like today I went to, pick up these things from this girl and He could have come with me. He's welcome to join me on whatever it is I'm doing. He could have come with me to take Aaron to the doctor and then walked back and then driven out to Covert 2. He could have done all that with me, but he doesn't want to. No, he's got to take vitamin D because he's not going outside. That's not good. He won't do anything. It's like, well, what is it that you want to do? You know, he just wants entertainment and sitting on the couch. Yeah, I know it's important. Yeah, no, but it's very hard with him. We're really like back to the very basics of like, here's another thing, like he won't feed himself. Like he's 16 years old, and you would think that if I tell him, okay, you know how to make a smoothie, you know how to make peanut butter and jelly, you have yogurt in the fridge, you have whatever, you know, I have food in the house, obviously, and I say, okay, I'm going out now, make yourself something to eat. He's 16 years old. I will, if I come back at like 4, he will have like not eaten all day. That's not normal. What 16-year-old will like literally not even eat because they don't know what to do with the stuff in the kitchen? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so, and we're back to like, if I wanted to shower, I have to like turn on the shower and like guide him towards the bathroom. And it's like he's totally like lost. It's like he backslid. My son like regressed, you know. Well, I don't think it's just psychological because it happened overnight. Like he was literally doing great. You guys saw him last summer. He was in Europe with me. You saw him playing guitar. He was on the honor roll at school. He got sick and like his life completely fell apart. And I'm trying not to like grieve and like get too panicky about it because we were thinking it looks like maybe it was infection triggered. But if I go to the doctor and I say I think this was triggered by an infection, they're going to think I'm crazy. I'm meeting with someone to try to get a referral for psychiatry to see, like, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. What did I ask for? Psychiatry and also the feeding clinic because he won't eat. And that's been going on for like months. It's not normal. None of this is normal at all. I mean, it could be just a really bad burnout, but like, how do you, what? You had an ear infection and didn't leave the house for 7 months? Huh, interesting. Why didn't you leave the house? Did it like give you weird like mental effects? Oh, I am doing everything I can. No, I know. Oh, yeah, but in Quebec, like at 14 years old, like they have the right to refuse medical treatment. Like I don't have that authority over him anymore. I know psychiatrists write scripts, but they're also doctors. I mean, the last time this happened, I took him to a private doctor, and then I took him to a private neurologist in the US who gave him antibiotics. A neuropsychiatrist, because it was infection triggered. I don't know. Our doctor just like refused to give antibiotics. But I don't know if that's what it was. I can't say. But like the other day, it was so bad you wouldn't leave the house. What, your ear? Why didn't you go to the doctor and get antibiotics? No, but it's not the appetite. It's like when he eats, he says he feels like his stomach is like super full and like he can't have food in it. Like he'll want to eat, but then he eats a couple bites and he says he feels really, really full. No, obviously I don't want him on psych meds. Have his biome checked. Okay. Like where? Who do you go to for that? You know where you go to for that? You go back to Dr. Jacobson. $350 for the consult, and then all those tests are like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I think I'm gonna first, you know what, I'm kind of wondering if it was like maybe some kind of mono. I'd actually rather spend the money on a homeopath, the one that we had before, because when I went to the biomed doctor before, I discovered that you can have an insane amount of tests. You can have all kinds of tests done, and they're very expensive, and actually they don't really give you a lot of information that you can use. Hi, Sharon. Yeah, he takes probiotics, but like natural ones. I mean, it might not be that. He might just be, Well, gut, I mean, that's another thing people go, fix his gut. But it's not like you just go to the garage and like fix your gut. Like it's complicated. And the person has to be cooperative. He's an individual and he has his own will. I can't just like fix him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a mechanic. He's not a pet. I can't just change his diet. Like he has to be on board with it. You understand? Yeah, sure. Like transplants. Yeah, I know. I've heard about that, and that's pretty impressive. Yeah, and they're illegal here. What about a support network? What support network? I think that his problems are all physical and biochemical. I don't think that it's like he just randomly feels depressed and he needs to talk about it. I think it's all something to do with his biochemistry. Like I agree, it could be gut flora, it could be brain chemistry. He's totally uncooperative, completely. Like you cannot make him do anything. You cannot be like, here, eat this. No. He just, it's like I told you, he's demand avoidant. He won't leave the house. He doesn't eat. I'm lucky if he eats. If he eats, I'm very happy. He used to eat fine until he got sick. I'm asking for a referral to the feeding clinic because he's like practically starving himself. I'm sort of keeping him alive by making like protein shakes for him. I'm just trying to write it out. But I am on it. I'm trying to find out like what, but where are his buddies? Yeah, well, that's another thing. One of them went out to BC. He has a friend here. What's the lion diet? I've never heard of that. Okay, that's new. Because a lot of these things are things I've heard of and that I've tried. And I remember trying to do the GAPS diet with him, and he totally wouldn't do it. And it's weird because he's into fitness too, though. He does like... No, he doesn't have C. diff. I don't think so. He'd be a lot sicker. I've gone to the doctor. I told him there's something wrong with his stomach, and they just did a ECG to check that it wasn't his heart. He was like vomiting and stuff. He had problems. Well, I'll look it up. Lion diet. Oh wait, it's one of those carnivore diets. Probably. Well, I'll look into it. But I mean, I'd like to actually know what the problem is before we start stabbing in the dark with like all kinds of expensive treatments that may or may not work. Beef, water, salt. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Good luck to me getting him to eat beef, water, and salt. I mean, it would probably be helpful, but like I said, the patient has to cooperate. Stress. Yeah. Well, he has moments where he's sort of okay. He has moments where he's like funny, and he was playing the piano today and he seemed like he's a bit better. But then when I try to get him to leave the house, he just won't go out. It's like impossible. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. People say parasites. Where would he get parasites? This all started when he had a sinus infection. I think it's related to the sinus infection somehow. My instinct. Huh. Well, how did you get... Well, yeah, but wait. How did you get rid of your C. diff? Wouldn't you get rid of that with like... No, it's not metal poisoning. That's totally impossible. And I already did all that with the hair analysis, and it's a total waste of money. How did you treat your C. diff? Because don't you take like those probiotics, like I forget what it's called, that very thick, very sour yogurt? The transplant thing? Yeah. Well, they do that in Mexico. Yeah. Well, okay, well, how did you guys get rid of the C. diff? Because from what I understand, there's this one YouTuber that I follow, and she got C. diff. She had extreme stomach pain. First of all, she was very sick to begin with. She was a cancer patient. She got C. diff, and she had like horrible, horrible, horrible stomach pain, and she almost died. She had to have like multiple antibiotics, and she was in the ICU, and she did get over it. I couldn't believe it, but fortunately she did, and she recovered, and she actually recovered from her cancer, and she's doing really well, so that's awesome. you don't just like, you know, when you're healthy, apparently C. diff is like an opportunistic infection. It's something where like when people have had antibiotics and their gut flora is damaged from the antibiotics, they're susceptible to getting it. It's like a hospital acquired infection. It's not usually something that healthy people just get. Yeah, Sharon. Yeah, I also wonder that, but you know, good luck to me. This is again one of those things where you're in that limbo where you can't get help from the health system, and if you go to psychiatry, they're going to just give you like antidepressants or something. But I don't want to catastrophize because I see times where he seems like he's okay, you know. I know, Cajun. I used to make videos about it. I know about that stuff. Well, yeah, for C. diff, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. But that's not gonna happen here. Your friend had to get in, yeah, IV antibiotic. Yeah, it's a very, very serious infection. Well, we don't have a dog, so it's not that. What, your daughter had nothing wrong she could find? The supplements did more help her. Well, and what was it that she had? Everybody's talking about C. diff, but he doesn't have symptoms of C. diff. No, the stomach thing, it's up here. C. diff is in your colon. He has something here where it, like when he eats, he feels like it's like he can feel it in his stomach, like his actual stomach. I'd be more concerned. I would like what I'd like, okay? Not to be the crazy mom here who's a total pain, but I would like to rule out that he didn't get mono because it can cause like enlargement of the spleen and it can cause us kind of like fatigue. And I have a friend who had that Epstein-Barr and she got a lot of psychiatric problems. Actually, it was really, really bad for her. I, you know, in an ideal world, I could walk in there and be like, listen, this started when he got sick. I'd like him tested to see what his strep levels are and for other kinds of infections that it could have been like in the blood, like if you have, you know, because you'll have a trace of antibodies and I want you to check him for mono. But I think that they're just gonna, they never take me seriously. You know, it's always a battle and I'm so tired of the battle. But we went through this with him when he was young, like really little. And he was doing so well. He was like almost totally like recovered, you know. And now he's like deteriorated it. And there's no point like pushing him. If I push him, it just makes it worse. Yeah. Oh wait, I was missing your comments. Wait, you were telling me your daughter, she had nothing? She, okay, well, what was wrong with your daughter? I'm just reading your comments. Get his esophagus stretched? I don't think it's that. No, a tick bite? I don't think so, though. Because it started in the fall, but he didn't get bitten by a tick. No, he has no headaches. Is he tired? Like, he's not like he was before, but he's not like when he had fibromyalgia. I think he was like laid up all the time. I am okay. I'll go read the chat. Yeah, tick bites can do that, but I don't think he was. I don't think he had tick bites. Hold on, let me see the comments. No, I don't think it's gallstones either. I don't know what it is. I think we would need like a functional medicine doctor, but I don't know where I'm going to find one. Ox bile. Interesting. Never knew. Anyway, yeah, like he's been having a hard time. I mean, imagine like, yeah, he had COVID, but like a long time ago, but he recovered and he was totally fine after that. He had it, he went to work at a summer camp and he did a great job. Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, I have a friend who has pancreatitis. I'm in Montreal in Canada. Yeah, I have a friend who had that. Yeah, I know, but he doesn't have long COVID because he had COVID like December 2021 and he recovered and he was totally fine. And he was all fine all 2022 until like he got the sinus infection. And we tested him for COVID and it wasn't COVID. And I'm kind of tired of everybody blaming everything on COVID. And he had the same kind of problem when he was little. It's not as bad. And actually, I'll tell you, I think he's getting better because in June it was really, really bad. It was like you saw a lot of like behavior that you'd expect in autism, which you don't usually see with him. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look into that. The C. diff. I mean, I'd be kind of surprised because, but yeah, absolutely, I will check it out. Who's gonna test him for it though? Like nobody will do that. They're gonna laugh me out of the office. They're gonna tell me it's not indicated. I already know what they're gonna say because that's what they're like here. They won't do it. They're gonna think I'm a crazy Munchausen mom if I say, "Well, test him for C. diff." They're gonna be like, "You spend too much time on Google." It's difficult. I think in the States, because you guys have private insurance and it's up to the insurance what they'll cover, maybe you can get help more easily. Up here, it's like it's very limited what you can get. Our healthcare system is shit here. Yeah. You can't just like walk in and say, well, I want to be tested for this or that. Because it's the government that decides like what you get. And they'll only do it if it's like a really clear cut indication. I remember I went to the hospital once to the ER and they sent me away. And I came back and I was hemorrhaging. And then they finally did an ultrasound and I had a ruptured ovarian cyst. But first they sent me away. You know. But anyway, I appreciate you guys' advice. I'm gonna look into it. C. diff. I kind of doubt it because I don't know where he would have got it. But and like I said, it started with a sinus infection. The stomach problems were like later. But okay, I'll check into that. Okay, well, I appreciate your advice. Don't think I'm not listening. I am. It's just a lot of the things are things that I've heard before and that I've kind of explored. And I mean, he might just be burnt out, you know. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Um, I have an appointment next week because I requested the help of a social worker because I told her my doctor doesn't listen to us. No, he exercises a lot. That's not missing. He doesn't get a lot of cardio. Like sometimes he does cardio, but he does a lot. He's getting really fit. Like he does a ton of pull-ups. He does lots of exercise. So it's not that, I mean, there's a lot of sitting too, but he does way more exercise than I do. I think he's had setbacks before and yeah, he needs sunlight. I need to get him out. He's very much like become a kind of health freak lately. So he won't eat anything if he thinks that it could be like not clean or like if he was drinking oat milk and then he heard that something to do with how they process the oat milk and he wouldn't drink that. He's very like kind of squeaky clean about his diet. Surprise. So I don't think he's eating any bad things. I think that it was related to the sinus infection that it did something. Or it could be that that made him miss a lot of school and he fell behind and he flunked his whole year and he could never catch up and now he's overwhelmed. It's possible. And it could be he won't leave the house because all his friends are out of town except for one and he has nowhere to go. It could be. But it doesn't really explain why he won't come with me because I'm doing things all the time. Anyway, there it is. I better go because I do have to go check on Aaron and it's super late. He's probably going to kill me because I'm getting down there so late. I have to still clean the house because the exterminator's coming. So I better get off. I just want to touch base with you guys. And if you have any more comments for me about Gunner, leave them in the comments. And he's drinking chlorophyll water. So he's hoping that's going to help. Okay, thanks. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And leave me your comments if you have suggestions. Okay, thank you for joining me. Thanks for your prayers. And I'll see you soon.